HBO Sports presentation, Inside the NFL.
Following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Chris Collinsworth in New York. Ahead tonight on Inside the NFL, we give you the last word, we think, on Spygate. It was on everyone's mind on Sunday night when the Patriots battled the Chargers.
A lot of national media people questioning the validity of the Patriots Super Bowl championships.
Trying to see what team y'all working for. Y'all working for the Pats or y'all working for the NFL?
Well, despite the controversy, the Pats are 2-0. But, Dan, what about all those 0-2 teams?
Yeah, the Jets, the Saints, the Eagles.
Among others.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
The Falcons.
Would you let me do this? There's a silver lining for Philly fans. We spent game day with the popular former Eagle, the Chiefs, Hugh Douglas.
You kicked T.O.'s ass, right?
Nah, man, we didn't even fight. See, this is what I'm talking about. Philadelphia, they don't remember all the sacks that I made in the playoff games we won. They just want to know if I kicked T.O.'s ass or not.
Meanwhile, the Cowboys are on top of the NFC East, and I went to Dallas to talk to Tony Romo what it's like to follow in the footsteps of some quarterback legends.
It's also a neat kind of fraternity if you do play well. If you don't play well, you probably wished you played for another team, really.
It's all ahead on Inside the NFL. Dan and two Chris's in Studio A, week 2 of Inside the NFL, and we start by backtracking to the story that still is kind of out there. I don't know if we can put it to bed, but some of the initial smoke is cleared. Do you have any additional takes now on Belichick and Spygate?
You're trying to make me really popular in New England area, aren't you? Yeah. But, you
can only go up.
Oh, I can only go up for sure. But this reminds me a little bit of the steroid issue, in that people at the top end of the game are using steroids. It sort of forces people at the bottom end of the game to use steroids to catch up. So now if people at the top end of the National Football League are cheating and winning Super Bowls, does it then force people like Tony Dungy to do something he wouldn't otherwise do because he feels like he has to compete with what's going on at the upper end?
Well, I look at it, and Tony Dungy's, I look at a man that wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do it. So I don't think even if he felt like he had to do it to compete, he wouldn't. He wouldn't jeopardize his reputation that way. Don Shula, I played for him for 13 years. Never even heard a word out of his mouth about, hey, we got these guys' signals on the other side. So,
but shouldn't that be the standard, the best of what we have from an integrity standpoint in the NFL?
There's no doubt. And I don't think the penalty was harsh enough. I think that, if you look at that first-round pick they're taking away, it's going to be a late 30s, So, I mean, that's not a big deal to them.
Let's talk about Pac-Man Jones and how he must feel out of this. Here's Pac-Man Jones, whose every incident that he had was off the field. Never impacted the integrity of the game. Never did anything he do bring into question who won a game, who won a playoff game, potentially who won a Super Bowl. And yet they took his entire salary away, $1.3 million approximately, all of it. For Bill Belichick, they took away about 1/10 of his salary.
The answer there isn't that they were too hard on Pac-Man, but maybe that they weren't tough enough on Belichick.
That's exactly the point.
That's the issue. It really is.
I think this, if the league is effective in policing this from this point forward, that's how it can be different from the steroid era in baseball and other sports, because baseball especially was late, and even now, despite best efforts, you can't police it all. It's possible that the league can crack down on this and stop it, at least going forward.
If, in fact, this is it, if it's not just the tip of the iceberg. And then the question comes up, does the league really want to see the entire iceberg?
For the time being, Chris, you think the Patriots are using this for additional motivation?
I think as a coach, and a very, very successful coach, I think Belichick will do that. And I think that they will try to circle their wagons. It's us against the world. But I'm going to tell you, I'm very impressed with what I've seen in 2 games. If you look at some of the most successful football teams, say in the last 15 or 20 years in the National Football League, let alone the 3 Super Bowls that they won, with 1 star on the offense who's not as good as he is now in Tom Brady. Adding Randy Moss to that team, on a team that 2 out of the last 3 years has had one of the top 3 defenses as far as points allowed in football. The sky is the limit for what this is. We could be watching greatness at all time. This is a team, too, that I can sit here early in the season and say, this is also a team that can go undefeated.
There's no doubt.
You think they could go undefeated?
Yes.
This football team can go undefeated.
Yeah.
Without any dirty tricks.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
We got the question in the first game, but after that, they can go undefeated.
I mean, they are that good. Take away the Spygate, take away everything else. This is a great football team in the early stages.
All right, well, amidst all the controversy surrounding that team and their coach, New England obviously had a very big game on Sunday night, and we'll start the highlights right there. The rematch from last year's memorable playoff battle, Chargers at Pats. Roll it.
In the NFL, cameras are everywhere. Everything you say and do is examined. But the Patriots took it too far and paid the price after Spygate.
A lot of national media people questioning the validity of the Patriots Super Bowl championships.
Trying to see what team y'all working for. Y'all working for the Pats or y'all working for the NFL? We trying to figure it out.
Even without cameras, Bill Belichick had it all figured out. On the opening drive, Tom Brady and the Patriots were picture perfect. On New England's second scoring drive, Brady was 5 for 5 for 65 yards.
Good job, baby. So watch this. He too good.
Damian Tomlinson couldn't crack New England's defense, whose newest star, linebacker Adalys Thomas, number 96, broke the game open late in the second quarter. San Diego had its moments, but a few steps forward after many leaps backward didn't add up enough for Tomlinson to put a positive spin on things.
Look at the score, man. We're getting our ass kicked. Why you messing with them? Why you messing with them?
This tale of the tape ended up as a Patriot highlight film.
It is a nightmare. The Patriots just took it to them tonight.
We fight, and we keep fighting. We keep fighting till this game's over with. Because we're going to take the W. We're going to take the victory. We're going to earn respect. That's what we need.
What the Jets needed was a way to stop quarterback Kyle Bowler. Starting in place of the injured Steve McNair, the backup led Baltimore to an early 14-point lead.
We've run the belly twice now on second 1-2. I'm going to come back with a play pass 14-0 X cross. They ought to be set for it next time we get into a second 1-2. Okay. So it's second down and 1 for the Ravens. Bowler pumps once, lob, end zone. Signal. Oh, ruled incomplete. This will be looked at under the hood. Looking on the board, says he had 1, 2 feet down.
The receiver got both feet down.
One of them go get the ball from you and do a dance or something. I'm trying to see you not celebrating, not doing nothing.
Much of the Ravens' dancing took place in the Jets' backfield. For 3 quarters, Baltimore limited New York to 107 yards of total offense.
Hey, all we can do is what? Keep Psalm 1, do our job. Do our job, okay? It's there, it's reachable. Let's go get it.
The Jets rallied behind Kellen Clemens, their own backup quarterback.
That's good, that's a catch.
Clemens, playing for the injured Chad Pennington, threw for 176 yards in the fourth quarter. In the final minute, he had New York in position for the game-tying score.
Clemens over the middle for he was wide open at the 5-yard line, and McCairns dropped it. No! Second and goal. Clemens takes the snap. Looking right. Clemens has time, fires, end zone, tip, intercepted! Pick off. The defense comes through after stretching this one out with way too much drama.
So Ray Lewis and the Ravens hang on against the Jets. Meanwhile, let's go back to that game in New England, which we saw earlier. A lot of people, I think prematurely, but let's find out what you think, Chris, are wondering whether the Chargers at 1-1 have regressed from last year.
Well, no. I mean, they've played the Chicago Bears and New England Patriots, 2 of the best teams in football. They're 1-1. They're fine. But I do think the one thing they have to be concerned about is getting LaDainian Tomlinson going. He has not done much of anything so far. And what it's done is put the burden back on Phillip Rivers, a young man that only had 9 interceptions a season ago. But that was when he was able to go off of play action with LT and throw the ball.
It helps when the running game's going. There's no doubt, especially for a young guy.
Yeah, now that LT is not going, he's on pace for 24 interceptions so far this season, so that's really been the difference.
All right, meanwhile, Dan, the Packers are 2-0 at the expense of the NFC East. They won at home against the Eagles opening Sunday. Then they went to Giant Stadium and beat New York. So they're 2-0 coming back home against the Chargers. How do you see the Packers?
I've been watching the Packers a lot because I have some interest. Brett Favre's probably going to break my record in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, probably. You know, looking at this team, really, they've really decided to get young on defense and get more aggressive defensively, build on defensive line and offensive line. And I spent some time with Brett Favre. He thinks that they are real good defensively. What they got to do on offense is just be patient. They got a bunch of young guys. They got young running backs, young receivers that still he's got to get a feel for. But you look so far, they got lucky against Philadelphia.
I got to tell you,
jumped all over the Giants. Go ahead.
It was amazing watching him last week against the Giants. Mike McCarthy has tried to break Brett Favre to some extent, trying to get him to get back, get the ball out quickly, distribute the ball. I've never seen Brett play like this. He had 14 completions in a row to start the second half of that game last week, and it looked really effective because they're not running the ball, and their pass protection is okay.
And they were playing the Giants' defense has been kind of porous a little bit late. Now they're going to play the Chargers.
80 points in the first 2 games allowed by the Giants. All right, so the Packers, dating back to a strong conclusion of last season, are better. The Chargers, for the time being, aren't quite as good. Does that mean that any of us think the Packers at home can beat the Chargers this week?
I don't. I think the Chargers defensively, how they get after the passer, I think that's going to be a problem for Brett Favre, and they're going to try to run the ball, which San Diego is real good at, at stopping the run. So I think San Diego wanting to prove themselves on offense, like you said, get LT going. They're going to go in there and probably, take charge of this game.
Sean Merriman is as good a defensive player as I've seen in a long, long time. I don't know how the Packers are going to get him blocked.
All right, to make it official, we all like San Diego to bounce back at Lambeau. And we bounce back to the highlights now. And Monday night in Philadelphia, where we spent part of the day with one of the friendliest fellows in football, the former Eagle defensive lineman, Hugh Douglas.
Hugh Douglas hasn't worn an Eagles jersey in over 2 years. But on game day, he still sees plenty of action.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, right there. I can't think right now.
It's all right. You don't need to think.
In a candy store. Women make me smile. I love women.
The former defensive lineman is a host on Philadelphia radio.
Hey. Reno Mahe is going to secure the football, and he's going to average 3 yards a carry.
But he also plays the part of unofficial mayor.
We're going to say hi, because I believe in speaking to everybody. I'm a man of the people.
You kicked T.O.'s ass, right?
Nah, man, we didn't even fight. See, this is what I'm talking about. Philadelphia, they don't remember all the sacks that I made in the playoff games we won. They just want to know if I kicked T.O.'s ass or not. We're going to come over here and say hi to Mitch Williams. See, Mitch went old school. He got the mullet. See, Mitch had a mullet. It's almost like being in the bar Cheers. Everybody knows your name. You walk through the door. They're like, hey, Norm. Everybody's like, Hugh, how you doing?
What's up, Hugh?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you been?
Fine. How about
you looking good. And there's my man, Emmett. Speaking of weight, how you doing, man? Because I remember last time I saw you was on the treadmill. You was working it out.
Struggling.
I mean, yeah.
I'm struggling.
Now, I know what you're talking about, man, because every now and then my weight goes up. Them crab fries smell awesome. How's the mashed potatoes and chicken? Is this candy? Can I have this? That's the bad part about being on the diet. Every time you want to eat something, you always smell something that you can't eat. It's depressing. People ask me that all the time. They say, do you miss the game? And I'm like, no, not really, because in my mind, I'm still a part of the game. I'm not out there playing, but I can enjoy being around the fans and being around the players and still see some good football.
In this game, the best football came from the Redskins.
Ooh, hello. Who's your daddy? Hi, my name is Sean Taylor.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he'll do.
I'm here to take your head off. He had to make a lot of tackles.
During the game, Douglas wears many hats.
He made some key tackles, though. They've been really running the ball, so it really kind of took Brown out of the ball.
After watching the Redskins knock heads on the field, he rubbed elbows in a luxury box.
We're about to go schmooze. We're about to go schmooze in the press box. Tell me a little bit about the box that I'm going to.
We're going to see IBM.
IBM? That's the computer people, right?
Yeah.
So who's the guy I need to see about a computer? So can I get a computer for free? You look like you make decisions. You a decision maker? I need an uber fast computer to play my video games on. Why every time I ask for a computer, everybody just get quiet and walk away? But you know, I'm the only cat that goes from like hanging with like strippers to like, doing the corporate thing. Everybody can't do that. Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Late in the first half, the Redskins stripped away the Eagles' lead.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Redskins! Your best pass rusher isn't on the field on a crucial down like that.
Who wasn't it?
Javon. He's on the sideline.
The Redskins had their best player on the field, and Clinton Portis delivered. While Washington's offense ground through Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb struggled. The Eagles' offense, with just one touchdown this season, sputtered.
I already know what the conversation is going to be in the morning. What about this Kevin Cobb kid? Being in the broadcast world, I got to kind of separate myself from the team. It's disheartening to see the Eagles play like that. But at the same time, it wouldn't have hurt as bad if I was actually out there playing.
John Gruden and the Buccaneers know beating the Saints isn't a breeze. But last Sunday, it became a Big Easy. While Sean Payton's offense seems a shadow of what it was last year, Jeff Garcia and Joey Galloway lit up New Orleans defense.
And the pass over the middle, caught! Joey Galloway, touchdown Tampa Bay. Garcia has time, throws out crossing back, caught at the 40, 45, Joey on the block. He slows down and dances into the end zone. Touchdown Tampa Bay.
Where's the safety in the middle of the field? Somebody got picked off in there.
Tampa Bay knocked the Saints down into the NFC South cellar.
All right, the simple arithmetic is this. Reggie Bush and the Saints are 0-2. What's up with that?
It's tough, you know, because last year this offense was so good. They were able to keep their defense off the field. Now with the offense struggling, the defense is on the field more, and their flaws are really getting exposed. Jason David, they thought, was going to be able to replace Fred Thomas at that cornerback position. But what they didn't realize, I don't think, is that in New Orleans they play a lot of man coverage. Obviously in Indianapolis they play a lot of zone cover too. So when he was put in those man coverage situations, he got exposed in a big way, and their offense isn't there to bail him out anymore.
But also everything's magnified early. They're 0-2. The first loss, and I admit it was a horrible loss, but it is to the defending world champions on the road.
Two road games.
Yeah, then they go on the road again to
play.
Tampa, and we know that they're not going to take anybody by surprise this year, and they have a first-place schedule, not the also-ran schedule from a year ago. What about Donovan McNabb and the Eagles? They're 0-2 as well.
Well, I would say if I was a Philly fan, just be patient. I mean, they're 0-2, yes.
Philly fans are not going to be patient.
That's the funniest thing that's ever been said on
Be patient, please. Support your local quarterback. That's McNabb. Please do that. I mean, they're 0-2. They could have won both of those games, and it's clear that McNabb's injuries affected him somewhat. With, you know, although he was not always extremely accurate quarterback at times, and people have questioned that. But, you know, that's with the injury, what he's gone through in the offseason, I think it's going to take time for him to come around. And they don't have the weapons. They got Westbrook. Who else scares you on their offense besides Westbrook?
Donovan used to running the football.
Yeah,
but when you come up with an injury like that, you had the Achilles thing.
Right.
How does it impact you as a quarterback?
You know, going through the offseason, sometimes your body has to adjust. You might have to adjust your throwing motion some and how you handle yourself in the pocket. And obviously, he's not going to be able to run the way he ran before. So he's going to have to make those adjustments, and it's going to take some time.
Okay, this week on Real Sports, Donovan McNabb tells James Brown, and the show will repeat several times so people will have ample opportunity to check it out. But he tells James Brown, not in an angry way, very measured way, that he still believes that black quarterbacks receive criticism beyond what their white counterparts receive. Is that valid?
Wow, I'm surprised you asked me that question.
It was just the luck of the draw. The two guys have spoken already in this segment, so we thought.
No, Collinsworth will throw me up under the bus.
No way.
Well, this is the thing that we know, and we all have a great deal of respect for Donovan, and Donovan's a very smart guy. But this is not
what a Syracuse education will do for you.
Well, I guess you would know about that. But the thing is, this is not just now happening once they get into the NFL. Most of these guys have been questioned based on their ability since Little League. But, okay, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Dante Culpepper, all these guys signed $100 million contract. So it's obvious that someone believes in them.
You ain't kidding if they're paying them $100 million.
So for me, at one point, you have to get beyond this issue, all right? McNabb is put under the microscope just like a lot of other quarterbacks. Do I think the standards are different for the white? Before Peyton Manning couldn't win a big game, not only in college.
What about Rex Grossman? He gets all kind of heat.
Yeah. Rex Grossman, the reason why the argument's not good for him is because McNabb is a better quarterback.
Way better.
All right.
Okay?
I
But
accept that. I accept
one
that.
thing Donovan needs to realize is the fans in Philly, they booed everyone.
Hey, it's Philly. They booed Mike Schmidt, maybe the greatest third baseman who ever played. They booed Santa Claus.
I mean, so.
Yeah, how could you do that?
For me, McNabb, I think at a certain point, you took the money, all right? You're a quarterback in the National Football League. You're going to get criticized, all right? And the way you can stop, like Deion said, if you want to stop people from celebrating, stop them from getting in the end zone. Play better, all right? And if you base it on these 2 games that he has played, Donovan McNabb, this is not a performance in these first 2 games that he would be pleased with.
You know, I wouldn't discount what he says completely. There are still vestiges of that remaining. But by and large, the trends are good. Jamarcus Russell was taken way before Brady Quinn. And before that, Vince Young was taken many slots before Matt Leinart. And when Jack Del Rio's had enough of Byron Leftwich, there's David Garrard. This is all to the good.
I just think it's the fans in Philadelphia as much as anything. I don't think nationally he gets it, but I know from calling games in Philadelphia, all they did up there for the whole game was yell, Collinsworth sucks. Collinsworth sucks. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast up there.
And exactly what is the injustice in that?
Right. The one thing, Bob, in wrapping up this matter is, I think, justified or unjustified, the black quarterbacks in the National Football League are far more sensitive to criticism than the white quarterbacks.
Because the history is there, and there's no denying the history. All right, former Eagle Chris Carter, sitting right here, went to Dallas on Monday to sit down with a quarterback off to a good start with the top team in Philadelphia's division, the Cowboys. But even with the league's hottest offense, being the main man in Big D isn't always an easy job.
Good morning, 7:56 here on Sports Radio 1310 The Tickets. Morning after a Cowboy win. 2-0 for the first time since 1999.
When the ball is in Tony Romo's hand for the first time in years around here, you get the feeling that something good is going to happen as opposed to a disaster.
Yeah, I think we might be jumping the gun here and talking about how good he is.
The guy is great, no doubt about it.
That's something that we haven't had in a long time.
He's an average, fair quarterback in this league.
Everybody in Dallas knows how to play quarterback better than the guy that they have playing quarterback. How do you deal with that on a weekly basis?
You understand that everyone's a Monday morning guy, but bottom line is you're winning football games. It takes care of itself, and it's all you can try and do at this position.
In Dallas, they know their quarterbacks. There's a history here of Super Bowl rings and Hall of Famers. But Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman are long gone. And after years of forgettable starters, maybe now there's Tony Romo.
The legacy here that those guys have passed down is difficult in some ways for some guys, and I think that's why they've had, you know, so many guys come through here in the last decade or so now. It's also a neat kind of fraternity if you do play well. If you don't play well, you know, you probably wished you played for another team, really.
Now, when you were growing up, you probably didn't see yourself being the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, that's true. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, we all go in different paths in life, and I mean, who knows if you ever saw yourself sitting here, you know, talking to me. I mean, yeah, I mean, you probably thought you'd have Bob Costas' job already by this point. I mean, but I mean, steps.
I'm gonna tell Bob that. Yeah, there is a process.
It's exciting. You know, it's a fun thing, and it's exciting because I get to do what I love to do.
The route Romo took to become the starting quarterback for America's team, it's surprising. He didn't play football until halfway through high school. The only college that wanted him was Division I AA, Eastern Illinois. The 2003 NFL Draft came and went without his name ever being called.
You got Carson Palmer, you got Peyton Manning, and these guys were bred to be NFL quarterbacks. How do you think your experiences help you compared to some of these other guys and their experiences of getting to the National Football League?
The thing I learned a long time ago was if you're willing to put forth the effort and the time, you can pass up a lot of people along the way. If you're throwing the football 2 days a week and I'm throwing it 5 days a week, you know, over the course of 2 years, I'm going to have improved more than you would have.
But for 3 years, former Cowboys coach Bill Parcells buried Romo on the depth chart and didn't even let him take a snap until last season, when Parcells finally got fed up with the slow-footed Drew Bledsoe.
Parcells talks about he has 10 commandments of being an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, break down a few of those to me.
He'd love this one, too. He doesn't want like a celebrity-type guy. He wants a battlefield soldier is the way he put it. And he has a way of saying it, you know.
Now, do you have a Bill Parcells impersonation?
I don't really have an impersonation. He's got his little looks like, you kidding? What are you doing? You know, kind of thing, like, get out of here. But he, I actually wish other people get to see him behind the scenes a little bit because he's actually pretty funny.
Romo thrived under Parcells last season and became a celebrity-type guy. His on-the-field swagger was only a part of it. The other part was pure Hollywood. Judging the Miss Universe pageant, birthday parties at elite nightclubs, and a relationship with country music star Carrie Underwood.
you've been able to develop almost like a rock star following. Do you think that is a direct reflection of being the quarterback for the Cowboys?
Well, I just think it's my long hair and good looks, obviously, that appeal to them.
And your sex appeal.
Yeah, sure. I think, no, I mean, I think it's part of this franchise. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, I think, you know, we're on national TV who knows how many times. And so people get to see him, and there's a following across the United States. Whenever we go to a new city, you know, we have a large fan base there as well. So I think it just goes with the franchise.
Romo struggled the last few games of the regular season. And then in the playoffs, he learned that even in Dallas, all the celebrity in the world won't help when you make a mistake quite like this.
Romo can't get the spot down. Romo's going to run it in. He's hit. He's not down. He doesn't get there. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
And in the offseason, there was some chatter that the team should draft Brady Quinn as Romo's eventual replacement.
In the back of your mind, were you thinking that Dallas might draft him?
Well, I think you just, you know, it's another situation where you're confident as a player. And so you feel like, you know, at the end of the day, if they like me, well, they won't take him. If they don't like you as much, they're going to take him.
Did that give you a lot of confidence in Jerry Jones, what he thought about you? Because that really did make a statement about who he has as quarterback.
Yeah, I think at the time I definitely was excited in some ways because I was like, you know what, the organization is behind me. You know, I think they want me or think that I can succeed and do pretty good things. You know, that's an exciting feeling inside when you know that people are rallying around you and really believe that you can get the job done.
He's in the last year of his contract, and around the league, the thinking goes, the longer Jerry Jones waits to re-sign Romo, the higher the price will be.
I think that they just wanted to see more if they're going to sign me for whatever kind of deal it's going to be. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for, is that I want to be with a team and an organization that says, this is our guy, we're going to ride him out, and we're going to go win some Super Bowls, hopefully. And, you know, I think that'll end up being here.
Irresistibly likable kid. In fact, for the time being at least, even T.O. seems to like him.
I think it's unique, and I think that is one dynamic that plays a huge role in that I believe he has a great relationship with T.O., better than T.O. had in Philadelphia or in San Francisco. Really?
You think?
Tough bar to clear.
They're winning.
But another thing, in that locker room, I talked to Brad Johnson, who I played along with there in Minnesota, and also Ray Sherman, the receiver coach. And in that locker room, he has created an atmosphere where the Cowboys really believe he is the quarterback of the Cowboys and that he can take them to the Super Bowl.
You know, the one thing I love about him is his presence in the pocket. You can notice that for a young guy, how he moves, and he knows when to decide to run and take chances, and he really handles that really well, and he'll just get better.
Okay, did he and the boys get it done this week in Chicago?
Boy, on the flip side, we have Rex Grossman we have to talk about now, who is going to be the focal point for a long, long time. There's no question. But when you start to look at the weapons around him, I have to think there's going to be a jump with Rex Grossman. I mean, Cedric Benson looks like he's starting to get it. They'll get Greg Olsen back this week. Bernard Berrian, I think, is one of the top receivers in the game. So there comes a point in time to where if this offense doesn't start catching on, they have to start looking at alternatives. But I think within Chicago, there's still the belief that he's going to grow in to be the Tony Romo who they've already convinced that he is.
They went to the Super Bowl last year, and they believe in it because they got there, and they are good enough on defense, and that's going to be the challenge for Tony Romo in Dallas. Are they going to be able to handle the Bears' defense? I'm not so sure.
These might be the two best teams in the NFC, though. It's a good show, man.
All right, so where do we come out? The former players all like Chicago in this one, but I'm taking Romo and Dallas. All right, we return to the highlights now, and why not do it with Tony Romo's Cowboys visiting the Dolphins in Miami.
The Miami Dolphins hope to mount a special forces attack against the Cowboys, and one parachute found the proper landing zone.
Green throws it up in the air for grabs, and it's caught for a touchdown. You've got to be kidding me.
But 4 other Trent Green passes found the waiting arms of Dallas Cowboys defensive backs. Tony Romo put his passes right where they needed to be.
Deep left, Owens at the 10, at the 5. Owens a 4th down touchdown.
And touchdown machine Marion Barber made another dash to the end zone.
Barber to the 30, Barber to the 10. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. Touchdown, Marion Barber.
In week 2, the reality between the Lions and the Vikings was stranger than any fiction. There were more twists than an episode of The Surreal Life. in a game that had 10 turnovers.
Passes left, fade for Ferguson, intercepted. Got time, sets up, looks, throws, end zone, picked off. Yes, sir.
In the third quarter, Minnesota's D punked Detroit.
Picked up by the Vikings defense, and it's a touchdown. And just like that, this game is tied.
An amazing race broke out in the final minute as the Lions missed one field goal, and then the Vikings teed up another.
Does anybody want to win this football game? I mean, both offenses had opportunity after opportunity to make something happen.
In overtime, Jason Hanson became Detroit's flavor of love.
65,000 strong standing in Ford Field, and the Lions have won it.
The Broncos have shown plenty of strength at home, but their quest for an 8th straight home opening win wasn't always smooth. Trailing by 14, the Raiders got within striking distance on Jerry Porter's 46-yard touchdown. Then their defense struck for 2 straight scores.
Safety for the Raiders. Cutler on third down drops, look left. Ball deflected up in the air, intercepted. It's going to be a touchdown by Thomas Howell. All the way in for a Raider touchdown.
17 unanswered points helped Oakland push the game into overtime, where a preemptive Denver timeout negated an apparent game-winning field goal by Sebastian Janikowski. His second attempt failed.
There's the snap. It's down. It's away. He's got plenty of distance, and it is no good. It hit the upright.
Janikowski's miss rescued Denver's hopes. Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall quickly put the Broncos in position for Jason Elam's second straight game-winning field goal.
Snap, placement, kick, and the Broncos have beaten the Raiders in overtime.
So Jason Elam comes through late 2 weeks in a row, first in Buffalo, then at home against the Raiders, and the Broncos, by the skin of their teeth, are 2-0. And here is Sports Illustrated's Peter King. A few topics on the table for him. Let's begin with the reaction of the coaching fraternity, not to Bill Belichick, but to Eric Mangini in the wake of the Jets blowing the whistle on the Pats.
Bob, there's a little bit of a code in the coaching fraternity. I'll give you an example. 1999, Chris Palmer gets the head coaching job of the Cleveland Browns. Comes on a strong recommendation from Bill Parcells. So though Chris Palmer wants to hire the defensive line coach of the Jets, Romeo Crennel, to be his defensive coordinator, he says, no, Bill wouldn't want it that way. Hands are off. I'm not going to touch him. When Eric Mangini went from New England to the New York Jets, he basically said, hey, all's fair in love and war. I'm going to do whatever it takes to try to win. I'm in the same division here, and I'm going to go after players and coaches if I can get them. That is the code that I'm talking about that a lot of coaches don't approve of.
So there's a code, especially if you're the protege of the head coach, a code that says that for a respectable period of time, a few years, you don't mess with that guy's with that guy's staff or that guy's potential free agents. But does that code extend to not blowing the whistle on electronic spying?
No, and this is what is a little bit different. It's like Rex Ryan of the Baltimore Ravens told me, their defensive coordinator. Look, when you shove it in a guy's face like that and you're standing across the field and stealing his defensive signals, that's different. And I think that's different with a lot of coaches in this league, Bob. They think that's fine, but it's just the history of people who view that Eric Mangini, the coaching fraternity sort of views Mangini, has not been grateful enough to Bill Belichick.
All right, Jeff Fisher ought to be very grateful to Bud Adams and company with the Tennessee Titans. He just signed a huge new deal.
Well, a great deal for Jeff Fisher. And, Bob, this is indicative of the explosion of coaching salaries, as you'll see by this graphic. You've got 3 guys who've signed contracts in the last 6 months. You know, Bill Belichick, whose contract I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm estimating it at 6, but nobody knows his exact number. Mike Shanahan and Jeff Fisher, each above that. Mike Holmgren right now, the king of the palace, at $7.5 million a year. What this means, Bob, is that right now Bill Cowher is sitting on the sidelines, and he's a very lucky man. Because if the Cleveland Browns or the Washington Redskins or the New York Giants want to come after Cowher, they know that it's going to take at least $8 million to get him out of that comfy chair at CBS.
All right, Joey Harrington, rough first couple of weeks in Atlanta, trying to replace Mike Vick with Matt Schaub, gone to Houston. So now the Falcons have to make a move, and they do it by signing Byron Leftwich. Is he there to back up Harrington, or is he there to take the job?
The Atlanta Falcons didn't want to sign Byron Leftwich. They had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago, and the reason they didn't want to is because Bobby Petrino had faith in Joey Harrington straightening out his career, difficulties in being a productive quarterback. They loved him in this offense. The problem in the first 2 weeks, they've scored 10 offensive points, and Harrington's been sacked 13 times. Something had to give. Bobby Petrino doesn't think Harrington is making his decisions quickly enough. I think in 2 weeks you're going to start to hear the drumbeat very loud for Leftwich to be playing right now in Atlanta.
But Harrington can save the starting job by
No
playing
question
better
about
if
it.
he gets some help around him.
Well, if he gets some help around him, but you're playing Carolina at home. Carolina smells blood in the water this week, Bob.
All right, Peter, thanks. And back to the games we go, and Arizona, where the Cards and their spirited right guard, Deuce Latui, welcome the Seahawks to town.
Cardinal guard Deuce Latui was excited last Sunday. He got to take on his old USC teammate, Seahawk linebacker Lofa Tatupu.
Lofa! Lofa! Woo! Yeah! I see you got your new tattoos.
Latui's first priority was to protect another former Trojan teammate, quarterback Matt Leinart, which allowed him to tease some other guys.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, you lost weight from last year, fat boy.
The fun really started when the Cardinals jumped out to a big lead.
He's got Pope wide open at the 15, at the 10, the 5, and dives for the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Leonard Pope. Woo!
Excellent job. That's smart football. Larry, good grab there.
Success through the air opened up the running game. Latui set his sights on Tatupu, number 51.
Liner takes, hands for edge, right side to the outside. James going for the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals. It's 16-0.
You just made Sports Center, babe. You just made Sports Center. Yeah, that was on you, Lofa. Don't tell Lofa to talk to me, man. He's ignoring me. You know I'm tonguing. That's why he hate me. Hey, man, why didn't you call me for lunch yesterday?
By the third quarter, Latui was silent as the Seahawks fought their way back into the game. Lofa Tatupu intercepted a pass and stole away Latui's bragging rights. His clutch play set up Sean Alexander's game-tying touchdown.
Sean gets it. He breaks it outside, inside the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Seahawks. Baby, the Hawks are back in it.
Tied at 20, Arizona was on the brink of another collapse. The Seahawks were on the Cardinal 36 with less than 2 minutes to play. When Matt Hasselbeck signaled at the line, Alexander mistakenly thought he had audibled from a run to a pass play. The result was disaster for Seattle.
I-backs again behind Matt. The turn, some kind of screw up, the ball's on the ground.
Sliding is Hasselbeck and Alexander, and the ball's loose in midfield.
The Seahawks fumble and the Arizona Cardinals recover. What in the world happened? Holy smoke.
With 4 seconds to play, Neil Rackers made the Seahawks pay for their critical mistake.
Snap is perfect. Ball's down. Kick is up. It has the leg. And it is good. Neil Rackers with 1 second left nails a 42-yarder. Cardinal Nation going crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ken, this is the first of many. Game ball goes to you. You found a way. That's what good football teams do. You found a way to win the game.
After trading their starting quarterback 1 game into the season, would the era of the mighty Quinn soon begin in Cleveland? Browns fans may have hoped so before the game, but after it started, Derek Anderson made everyone forget the future with a 5-touchdown passing performance.
Looks down the middle, wide open, touchdown! It's Jeremiah again!
He's got the daily double going.
Carson Palmer saw Anderson's 5 and raised it 1, tossing a career-best 6 touchdown passes. Both teams combined for over 1,000 yards of offense. The explosion of points put some bark back in the dog pound and a little bite. Before the game, the Pooches in the pound had tried to make nice with Bengals hot dog Chad Johnson. But Johnson's 11 catches and 2 TDs didn't earn him any lasting friendships.
A lot of time, he fires and it's caught at the 2, at the 1, in for the touchdown. There's Chad Johnson. Now, is he going into the dog pound? Yes, he is. He goes in.
Man's best friend, huh?
Apparently they weren't quite as fond of him as he thought.
Also making a splash was Jamal Lewis, who rushed for 216 yards. Only Hall of Famers Jim Brown and Bobby Mitchell ever rushed for more as a Brown. In the fourth quarter, the Browns led by just 3, 41-38.
He's got a man wide open down the left sideline. What a catch by Braylon Edwards! And he goes in for a touchdown! Braylon Edwards laid out at the 2, and he spun in for the score!
We've been waiting for the playmakers. They showed up today.
Though little Powerball was played on this afternoon, the scoreboard read like last night's winning lottery numbers. The Bengals took one final try at the jackpot.
28 seconds remain.
The Browns lead by 6. Here's Palmer back to pass. He throws down the right sideline. That's picked off by Lee Martin. He's got it. Let's see if he's inbounds. Yes, he is. He did it. He did it. He gets the interception that put this one away for the Browns.
Now, that was a game the way we like it around here. Huge day for the quarterbacks and receivers, all except the outcome.
Big numbers up.
Of course, my Bengals going down there. And that starts the tee-off segment for today. Okay. We're going to start with a Cincinnati question, all right? Why are Marvin Lewis's defenses in Cincinnati always amongst the worst in the league?
You know what? I think it's talent. I thought you were having trouble reading that personally.
Producer's handwriting is getting worse. So
you know what? When Marvin Lewis was in Baltimore, I mean, the talent he had there was incredible. I mean, that defense was just so good because of the personnel, and I'm not sure he has that same talent.
Did you ever throw 6 touchdown passes like Carson Palmer did and lose
played
and
against
lost?
The Jets in the Meadowlands. We lost 51-48 through 6 touchdowns, and we lost.
Really?
Yep.
You know what
it's a rough day.
Yeah, they just don't have anybody that you have to double team on that defense. There's no one guy
but
that
it's still
draws a
based
double
on the
team.
cap. It's based on the cap and the kind of team you inherit. Brian Billick, when he went to Baltimore, he inherited a defense, so he added to it. Tried to add some pieces along the way, but it's slow for him. The team in Cincinnati, he inherited those offensive players. So he's trying to build that offense, try to score more points. So it's based on where you go.
So either offense or defense, but you can't have both.
Based on what kind of team you inherit.
All right. Well, speaking of inheriting pretty good teams, will anyone but the Patriots or the Colts win the Super Bowl?
The Pittsburgh Steelers could. I mean, they have a young quarterback that's been there. They have a young coach, but it seems so far, they haven't had a tough road of it so far. But they're 2-0. They look good on offense. You know they're going to be good on defense, so they could do it.
This is the scary thing, that all the championship teams we've seen in the history of the NFL, typically in September, they're not nearly as good. What if New England and Indy get better?
They could. They could continue to get better than they are right now.
That'd be pretty frightening.
I'd like to watch that on videotape, I know. All right, after scoring a touchdown last week, Chad Johnson jumped into the dog pound in Cleveland. What would happen if Mike Vick jumped into the dog pound? Now, see, that's just like a cheap shot there, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You answer that.
Why? I think he's going to be going to the pound.
Yeah, he's going to be impounded.
I'll tell you what, though.
Did you see the fan when he did it? When Chad Johnson, the one fan with the beer, he was like, he wasn't sure if he was going to drink it.
He was trying to flavor save it.
And he just nice. He's nice. He didn't throw it hard.
You know they hate the Cincinnati Bengals and Chad Johnson if they're going to waste a whole beer on him.
You know that.
In Cleveland, that's a high standard.
He's going, I should drink. We'll just pour it on him.
Hey, how about a little remake of The Longest Yard, though? But now we've got Mike Vick. We have O.J. Simpson. Could be solid. That could be good.
Next question.
Thank you very much. The Giants, 0-2, play the Dolphins 0-2 in London later this season. Is this the game the NFL really wants to promote football in Europe?
I don't think this has the international appeal they were looking for. And that's the
well, it does from the franchise standpoint. I mean, in Europe, the team knows the Dolphins. I mean, there's a lot of Dolphin fans in Europe, and the Giants also. I mean, so is the franchise part of it and the recognition? Yes. But players on both sides.
The fans are used to low scoring, so it shouldn't.
So, you know.
They watch soccer. It's 1-0, 2-1. This will
But
be
also
like an
they-
explosion of points over there, right?
The Giants fans should fit right in with those hooligans over there in England, too.
Oh, here we go. That was Chris Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R. Thank you very much.
Got that from his notes.
Okay, back to the highlights now. According to a new study, Pittsburgh has by far more women who describe themselves as loyal football fans than any other city. You want some proof? Ask Dan Marino or take a look.
Take a look.
We got married yesterday. Kind of put our honeymoon on hold to come and see the Steelers.
My husband's home with my kids, so.
It's a good thing we brought Al along. He can drive.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard to say which NFL city has the greatest fans, but the search for the home of the greatest women fans is over.
I was not surprised. I mean, all you've got to do is walk around the parking lot and look at the number of women you got here. Just walk around Pittsburgh and look at the number of women wearing Steelers stuff.
We just saw a lady walk by with spiked stiletto heels. It's a football game, not a fashion show.
I think there's a lot of people in Pittsburgh, women, who really like football, and, you know, it's part of our culture. We actually plan our life pretty much around Steelers games. I met my husband in 2004, and since that time, I've been to every single home game.
We've been Steeler fans from the moment that we can remember, and then for 25 years, we were fortunate enough to have season tickets.
The women of Steeler Nation have cast an approving eye at new head coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, I like him very much. Very, very much.
You know, I think the fans are actually really getting behind and being, you know, the coach this year. I think it's something new, but people are actually supporting it.
He looks confident, too, when he walks out there. You're like, okay.
In Tomlin's home debut, the Steelers wore throwback uniforms to commemorate their 75th anniversary. Priorities haven't changed much in the Steel City. In the first half, the Steelers' defense held Buffalo to just one first down. But Pittsburgh was forced to settle for 4 field goals by Jeff Reed, a.k.a. Skippy.
Skippy's getting tired. Give him a break. That's what we call Jeff Reed. Skippy! Every time he kicks the ball, we yell,
The Steelers finally cracked the end zone in the second half and secured their second straight win to start the season.
To give to Parker through a hole in the 5, he's into the end zone. A touch for the Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown.
I liked it when little Willie Parker went in.
all right, I can relax a little bit.
The 500th regular season victory in Steelers history left everyone smiling.
It was a perfect day for a game. What'd you think? It was a great game. Yeah.
Just another day at the office for the most loyal female fans in football.
Hey, these guys ain't that good. And they ain't no cakewalk, but they ain't that good, dog. We should run over their ass like it's high school.
Steve Smith played the role of schoolyard bully, using a playground move for an early touchdown.
It's a back shoulder fade, end zone, in the air, then Smith recatches it, touchdown, Carolina.
But that wasn't even Smith's best move of the day.
And then he finally breaks away. How did he do it? He may score. The Houdiniac by Steve Smith.
And when you have a chance to tackle Steve Smith, you better tackle him, because if you don't, he's going to absolutely embarrass you on this football field.
The Texans proved to be a quick study, using their #1 receiver to get to the top of the class.
Touchdown, Houston. Just like that, the Texans strike back. Schaub throws over the middle. Caught, end zone. Touchdown, Andre Johnson.
All day, 80. All day, son. I just stopped like this and I was wide open.
Carolina learned that Houston won't be pushed around anymore. Ahman Green put the Texans up by 10.
Bring it up. Touchdown, Texans. Ahman Green for 6.
On the ensuing kickoff, the Panthers flunked out of the game.
Goins cuts to his right, 10, 15, and he fumbles the football. It's loose, it's live, and it's kicked into the end zone by Hutchins. The Texans fall on it, Walters on it, and they call it a touchdown!
It's like watching your child take his first step.
No longer a fledgling franchise, the Texans are 2-0 for the first time and will face the Colts this week in a battle of unbeatens.
And so, are the Texans ready to mix it up with the big boys? They've got Indy next.
Maybe if they had had Andre Johnson this week, it would have been an interesting game. I just watched the Texans on tape, and they have some of the best young talent in the National Football League on the defensive side. D'Amico Ryans, Dante Robinson, Mario Williams, Amobi Okoye with 2 sacks last week. They look terrific. But when you think about this team trying to match up without their star player at wide receiver, I just don't think they can get it done.
So you're picking Indy?
Yep.
And it's unanimous. We all like the Colts. Meanwhile, the Saints try to get it going against the Titans at home on Monday night. Your thoughts, sir?
The Saints, it's amazing. Last year, we thought the Saints' pass defense was bad. This year, they're twice as bad. Last year, giving up basically 6 yards per pass. This year, giving up around 11. But for me, it all gets back to forget about the gimmicks, forget about the play calling. Deuce McAllister. Let's run the football, keep that defense off the field. Until they decide to do this. Also, teams have 18 games of film to study, and they know the Saints. Saints aren't going to surprise anyone this year. You know, so the Saints, until they decide to run the football, they're still going to struggle.
But despite that,
I like the Saints this week.
And we're all in agreement. The Saints, we say, will get their first win on Monday night. All right, Dan, a battle of the unbeatens. Niners go to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers.
And, you know, Alex Smith, they're 2-0, right? And he really hasn't produced a whole lot. It's hard to believe, to me, that they win, they're 2-0, and he's only thrown for 126 yards in each of those victories. And that means that Frank Gore has really been carrying the load, and they're playing pretty good defense. Alex Smith's going to have to play well for them to go on the road into Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to be up to the task in that, because Roethlisberger offense are well balanced. They're opening up. They're playing good defense. That's going to be a tough victory for San Francisco to go in there and win. So I like the Steelers.
And we all like the Steelers. It's 4-0 here. We all like them to go to 3-0. And you can check out the rest of our picks at hbo.com/INFL and play Beat the Hosts to see how you fare against us. Time now for Say Something. I'll start it off, and this thought is prompted by a column this past week by Phil Mushnick in the New York Post. We all know that the passer rating in the NFL is one of the goofiest statistics in all of sports. It's almost impossible to figure it out, but in the end, it should at least make some bottom line sense. All right, Steve Young and Peyton Manning are at the top, and Joe Montana is fourth. That's fine, but look a little deeper. Bob Greasy's career passer rating, 77.1. He's in the Hall of Fame. Brian Greasy, 84.5. Chad Pennington of the Jets, 89.8. Joe Namath, 65.5. You know whose names you'll see before you get to Dan Marino? Mark Bulger, Dante Culpepper, Trent Green, and Jeff Garcia, among others. All fine players, but they're all ahead of Dan Marino. And nowhere in the top 20, Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, John Elway. What good is this stat?
It's not any good. It
No,
doesn't
it's
matter.
not any good
To me,
at all.
it's about touchdowns and about interceptions. It's that ratio, and it's producing that way. That's what it is. How many touchdowns you throw?
It's not your
and how
turn.
little.
All
I
right.
don't care. I have to
All
say
right.
he's talking about me. He's talking about me. I'm responding.
Say something. Say something.
To me, it's not about the stats. It's not about
It's
touchdowns.
not.
It's not about winning.
No, it's about- but
it's
that's
about
the-
how much money you got in the bank.
I guess
McNabb
so.
keeps complaining about the black quarterback. I got to go back to it. The black quarterback. They paid him $100 million. Listen, if you pay me $100 million, you can call me white boy, cracker. You can call me whatever you want to. Just pay me.
I'd like to say something by leaving at this point right now.
No comment on that one, Chris.
You know what? I think we've all said something. This is the beginning of a better relationship with Chris Carter. He's getting paid. Good night from New York.
Can a brother get paid around here?
Wow.
Inside the NFL premieres every Wednesday at 10 Eastern.